Mid-morning. Let's explore the 31st verse of the Song of Enlightenment and then meditate. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, brought to you by the kind folks who support me on Patreon for about $1 a month. This morning, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as profoundly as Qui-Gon Jinn on Naboo, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. If at any point in this morning's live stream you have a question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them, simply type your question in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. Remember, the more specific your question, the more helpful the answer. So we're going to start with a chant and then an explanation. As for letting delusions go and grasping the truth, the letting go grasping mind is a matter of disguise. Students unaware who take this for the practice mistaketh he for the child. When the tyranny, so I'm going to do a bit-by-bit explanation and then see if I missed anything. First, I'm going to put this bad boy in silent mode, do not disturb mode, because otherwise the chirps will drive us nuts. So as for letting delusions go and grasping the truth, and superficially that sounds Jim Dandy, but what is the fundamental dualism of samsara according to the Buddha? Shoving and reaching, pushing and pulling. That's the fundamental duality. Now, in and of himself, it's neither good nor bad. But when they control our choices and utterances and deeds, then it pretty much multiplies the stress in our life. So the insidious aspect of that pushing and pulling is that it's dangerous even when it's applied to the spiritual path. Excuse me. So the question is, what do we do with delusions? The same thing we do with the truth. Well, what's that? During our inhalation, we are already wired, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. So whether you notice delusion or whether you notice truth, whether you notice something glorious, whether you notice something grotesque, your only job during the inhalation is to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. However, during our exhalation, we have another job. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we are automatically accessing our parasympathetic nervous system, which has evolved for physical relaxation and mental release. If that is all we do, notice shit and let go of shit, we will quickly, well, number one, we will be practicing the path of liberation. Number two, very soon we will master that path. What does that mean? It means we will be practicing it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. And that's what I like to call enlightenment. That's the path. Now, when we get fastidious and when we indulge our controlling tendencies, when we choose to be rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, competitive, and cruel, we're not applying the path. So let's take a moment to look at an artist's rendering of the cross-section of a human brain. Down here is our amygdala. The more stress we experience, the more we get stuck down here. And this is where we are on our worst day. However, just a few centimeters north is our anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy, the hub of our mirror neurons. How do we get from frightened amygdala to empathetic anterior cingulate gyrus? Simple. By meditating effectively, perhaps once every 12 hours or more. By noticing and releasing, we will return to our homeostasis, which, as a vertebrate, is our seat of empathy. Empathy is the natural state for someone who is spontaneous, carefree, and at ease. And that is why we meditate. So the mind that is forever shoving and pulling has many, many disguises, including the sanctimonious disguise. Those of us who do not know that, who fall into the trap of indulging our controlling tendencies, think they're practicing the path, but they're actually pretty much metaphorically shooting themselves in the foot. And then they coin the phrase, mistaking a thief for their child. So if someone is a householder, they cherish their children. Their children are the source of fulfillment. They are the hope for the next generation. A thief is not. A thief in the house will undermine your ability to provide for the next generation. So what this turn of phrase is illustrating is that just as you might, if you mistake a thief for your child with the utmost of sincerity, you'll still be shooting yourself in the foot. Similarly, when we become neurotic in our practice of spirituality, it does more harm than good. So I've tried to put a synopsis here. When the tyranny of the fundamental duality of pushing and pulling is confused with vulnerably noticing and relaxingly letting go, we deceive ourselves, indulging our controlling tendencies, thus failing to make peace with the external, the internal, the physical, the mental, the pleasurable, the painful, the interesting, the boring, the glorious, and the grotesque. So let's make peace with whatever befalls us by noticing and releasing. Now let's meditate. Now remember, if at any point during this live stream you have a question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them, then type your question in as detailed a manner as you can in the chat window, that I might answer it for you. You've got a teacher right now in real time. Don't squander this opportunity. This text is titled Secular Meditations of Loving Kindness, True Knowledge, and Liberation. And it's drawn from the teachings of both the Anapanasati Suttas as well as the Metta Suttas. Now we're going to play with 24 exercises, health permitting. 24 can feel overwhelming, so we can think of it in terms of 6 sets of 4 exercises each. Our first set of 4 exercises will take love as their common denominator. We're going to begin with circumstances and lovingly wish good fortune for all beings everywhere. So This means we're not trying to work magic. We're not trying to be Gandalf the Grey, although that would be cool. All we're doing is during the in-breath, we're silently and mentally reciting the noun boon, which serves as a synonym for good fortune. During our exhalation, we are silently and mentally reciting the word all, which is short for all beings everywhere. Now, we don't have to visualize, we don't have to emote, we don't even have to believe. All we do is silently and mentally recite these words in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation and our relaxation. We will find the neural pathways responsible for empathy becoming more and more robust. But don't take my word for it. Put it to the test in the laboratory of your body and your mind right now. So sit up in a sustainable posture and practice with me. We switch gears from the circumstantial to the physical, wishing optimal health for all beings everywhere. We switch gears from the physical to the interpersonal, wishing that all relationships of all beings, be they professional, personal, platonic, or intimate, be loving. We switch gears from the interpersonal to the mental, wishing great wisdom for all beings everywhere. We now come to our second set of 4 exercises. The common denominator of these 4 exercises is that we will be centering our bodies. Excuse me. During our inhalation, we will silently and mentally recite the verb breathe. During our exhalation, we will silently and mentally recite the adjective long. Now here's the cool thing. We do not have to force ourselves to breathe long. We are already wired to do that. All we got to do is get out of our own way. So don't try to control the length of your breath. Just silently and mentally recite these words in harmony with your inhalation and your exhalation and your relaxation, and let your central nervous system do the heavy lifting for you. For our second exercise, during the in-breath, we can silently and mentally recite the adjective short. During our exhalation, we can silently and mentally recite the noun breath. Doing so, breathing in using a shorter breath, you might find that to be invigorating. We come to the third exercise of our second set of meditations. During the inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the verb taste, which functions as a metaphor for noticing, or a metaphor of noticing. During our exhalation, we will silently and mentally recite the noun form, which serves as a synonym for body. We come to the fourth meditation of our second set. During our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the noun form. During our exhalation, we silently and mentally recite the verb ease, which functions as a synonym for relax. Now, the cool thing is we don't have to force ourselves to relax. We're already wired to do so. Every time we exhale, our parasympathetic nervous system is wired for physical relaxation and mental release. We come now to the third set of 4 meditations. The common denominator of this set of meditations is they will help us to center our feelings. Practicing this first exercise, we will be able to taste of the first jhana's blissful joy. As we breathe in, we can silently and mentally recite the verb grin, referring to a gentle smile, utilizing the corners of our mouth, the apples of our cheeks, and the crow's feet of our eyes. During the exhalation, we can silently and mentally recite the noun form. We come now to the second exercise of our third set of meditations, wherein we will taste of the second jhana's peaceful joy. We'll do this during our inhalation by silently and mentally reciting the verb grin, and this time during the exhalation, silently and mentally reciting the noun thoughts. In this context, thoughts serves as a umbrella term, and it serves as an umbrella for the terms or the ideas of emoting, intending, thinking, recalling, and imagining. So in other words, the coarser, more complex functions of mind. We come now to the third exercise of our third set of meditations, wherein we will taste of the third jhana's contentment. During our inhalation, we will silently and mentally recite the verb feel, which functions as a synonym for noticing. During our exhalation, we will continue to work with our thoughts of emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. We come now to the fourth meditation of our third set, where we could taste of the fourth jhana's neutrality. How will we do this? During our inhalation, we will silently and mentally recite the noun thoughts. During the exhalation, we will return to silently and mentally reciting the verb ease, which is synonymous with relaxing. I'm now going to conclude this mid-morning's 30 minutes of meditation with a quick wish of love. So let us silently and mentally wish that each being use their intention in the kindest way. If you feel that I have earned it, type something in the chat window, give this live stream a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. In approximately 3¼ hours, I intend to return to lead today's afternoon meditation. Now, of course, if you'd like to support this ongoing work for about $1 a month on Patreon, you are welcome to, but it is entirely non-mandatory. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.